weapons right here if you guys need them. And if we can do anything for you, my name's John. That's Eric out in the dining room, all right? Thank y'all so much.
The first time I met John Turner, it's been about 20 years ago in 1999. We worked at a previous company together, and I was the kitchen manager at the time.
Typical Jonathan. Yeah, the first day I met Jonathan was in Burlington, North Carolina. I was actually a floating manager.
Our area manager was bringing in floating managers to kind of see what we thought about them. And anyway, we found out they were getting this young green manager from Hickory named John Turner.
I got there a couple hours early, and I looked at the back dock, and the back dock needed a good scrub in it.
He said, well, when I was coming in, I noticed that your back dock was really dirty, so you got a scrub brush and a mop bucket, and I'll go ahead and knock that out for you.
Next thing I know, Jonathan ran in and called the managing partner there and was like, hey man, who is this guy?
And I was like, oh my God. So I got on the phone to my boss and I was like, this is the guy that we need here. And that was my first experience with John Turner, and we've been friends ever since.
Thanks so much. If y'all need anything, my name's John, just give me a shout, all right? All right.
So the most recent story I have about JT is, you know, he has a really good way of showing his appreciation, and it's the little things that he does that really show the way he thinks of you. And a couple Sundays ago, it was just random, he sent me this text in the morning, and you mind if I just grab my phone and tell you? Okay, it says, hey man, I really appreciate how hard you work and all you do. The results you guys are getting now in this restaurant to what you've done in your community, you have a true servant's heart. I can't imagine Fayetteville without you being with us. And that was just this random text that, you know, he didn't have to send, and nothing really I did deserved it at the time. But when I read it, it just made me appreciate that much more working for him and for the company.
What you need to know about John Turner? John Turner's the kind of guy that will be out driving around in a hurricane, and when we can't get through, we'll turn around and come and open a restaurant just to feed people.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Gail King. We, of course, are talking about Hurricane Florence. She's making landfall right now in North Carolina.
So there was a hurricane that hit and really devastated North Carolina.
Florence has pounded the coast all night long.
When Hurricane Florence came through here, it was more a rain event than a wind event, and there was just massive flooding throughout different parts of eastern North Carolina. What
was truly damaging in the lowlands and the sandlands of North Carolina was the flooding. And roads weren't perked up enough, that they were closed down. And so John assembled a team of resources. We're talking trucks and vans and food and people. And they were going to ground zero. They were going to where the eye of the hurricane hit the hardest, and that's the Jacksonville area.
Jacksonville, North Carolina is also getting pummeled by the storm right now. People trapped in homes and hotels trying to get rescued.
I see John's servant's heart as he took his time away from his family and thought about others' families whenever they needed that help, whenever they needed something. They needed somewhere to go, they needed somewhere to stay. So he got the team in Fayetteville together for Hurricane Florence, and he just said, man, we're gonna rock it out. We're gonna get it, we're gonna take care of these people. The only thing I knew was we got one mission, and one mission only, and that was to take care of everybody else.
And he would turn left to go to Jacksonville, you know, point A to point B, and he would get turned away because it was flooded out. So he would go plan B, and he would try to go through the side door, and that was flooded out, and he was boxed out. He couldn't get in because the water had risen so high.
We were part of an emergency response team to go out, myself, Damien, and John, to go out and help out with Wilmington and Jacksonville. And when we couldn't get through, we turned around, came back here, and on his orders, and we opened up and served the public, and they were very happy that we were open, very happy.
You know, we were luckily enough that we had power here, and so we got back here. We couldn't do a full menu, and so we set up a buffet line, and we just did the best that we can. We had some protein, we had some sides, and every customer that came through was really, really gracious. And it was the first hot meal they'd had in a couple of days.
And there's no quitting, John. There's no stopping. John will just keep going and going and going until he gets to a great solution.
It's just the attitude that he brings with him. Just this a can-do attitude, won't stop at nothing, don't let anything stand in your way.
You just got to do the best you can. You just got to, you know, in situations like that, you got to try to figure it out. You got to roll with the punches, and we just got to do the best that we can.
To breaking news now surrounding an update in a fatal accident from last year. An East Carolina University student pled guilty today in connection with a 2018 crash in Pender County that killed her mother and severely injured her young son. Killed was 28-year-old Robin Blankenship of Sneads Ferry.
Today is an emotional day for John. Today, John is in a courtroom. He's at the hearing of the person who caused the death of Robin Blankenship.
So Robin and I go way back. For about 12 years to a former job. She was just amazing. She was absolutely made to do this. She just had a way of connecting with people. And then she was such a strong female that she had no problem telling you if she disagreed with you or what have you. She has a very strong personality. She's just such a pleasure to work with. I'm better for having known her.
And I know John's there because he felt like someone needed to be there to represent Robin. He was there for Robin. John pours his heart out to his people. He's just a good dude. We all love him.